All right, folks, welcome to What's Your Story, where we talk about life and words of wisdom and journeys and things like that. I have a great YouTuber on with me, Netters Network, part of the Pacelli Foundation. This is going to be so much fun. I don't know if you've checked out her channel. All the stuff is down there below. Make sure you do, because it is great to find YouTubers that are finding their voice and trying to find the journey and how to connect with folks. And I really love some of the things that she's been doing. It's great, Netter. Thank you for hanging out with me and doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is going to be a blast. I can't wait to delve into things.
So obviously Troy and I kind of go back now. I mean, gosh, it's probably been close to a year, because we've connected on and off a few times. Finally, I had you on a stream, which was so cool. I found, you've been in chat several times and things like that, but it's great to have you on for a live stream that we threw together at the last minute a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago now. And now I get to have you on for this. So I'm like, okay, this is so cool. And we had a great excuse. And folks, by the way, yes, she's gonna, if you haven't seen it, Cartoon Memories, Padawannabe Challenge. I know people think I'm crazy, and I didn't think this was going to be a thing. It started because he did it. It's not my fault. So next thing I know, everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. It'll be kind of fun. So here we are. Another Padawannabe Challenge will be added to the list, and there's going to join that exclusive club. Natter, how on earth did the YouTuber thing go from maybe being Troy's thing to your thing, or were you doing it first, or how did this evolve in your house?
Well, it started with Troy because he's told the story many times that the place we used to work actually together and in the same department, we both got let go at the same time, just after COVID started. And, or if I'm not allowed to say it, the coup.
I don't care. Let them.
Okay.
Let them,
some people mind,
some
people don't. So
if there was a snip there, that was me taking out the word if I thought that was remotely relevant, but I don't expect it to be.
So the thing was, every Friday after work, we would go to this little pub that was not that far from the office, and we'd be there with our coworkers, and we'd be, shooting the breeze, complaining about customers we had to deal with or people we have to work with, that it was just like, just getting it off our chests and all that. Well, after we were laid off and we weren't doing that anymore, it was like, okay, we're kind of missing that camaraderie. So Troy started doing Friday Night Last Call. And so he started, him and Age Mover just started kind of shooting the breeze. And then he started inviting people on to share in with that. And it kind of blossomed from there. And after he's been doing that for a while, I'm like, I can do this. Can't I? So I didn't know how to edit or anything. I just know how to record. So my very first video was my box folding video. And it took me, I want to say, about 25 to 30 takes of me going through it without flubbing what I wanted to say. Because like I said, I didn't know how to edit, and I didn't want to bother Troy with, how do I do this? So I just did the whole thing. I had to do it from beginning to end with no flubs. Finally did it somewhere around the 29th take or so. And it was like, okay, this is good. I'm going to put this up. And then after I did that one, he's like, I can show you how to edit. It's like, well, now you tell me. So then he showed me how to edit. So then I've been editing my own videos ever since then. But it was like, this is something I want to do. I first started off with helpful hints, because it's like, a lot of times, people say, oh, everybody knows that, but not everybody knows everything. And something you may feel is something simple that everyone should know, not everyone knows that thing. So I started doing these little helpful hints. One of them, like I said, was a box folding video. I've also done things on, simple makeup, because there's a lot of women that either don't wear makeup and they want to try it, but they're not sure where to start, or, maybe they don't wear a lot of makeup, but they're not quite sure how to put it on. So I did one on simple makeup, because you could see I wear very simple makeup. I don't do the toner and all that sort of thing that's all around your face. I do very simple. So that was to help out women like myself that don't wear a lot of makeup, or like I said, people that want to try makeup but not sure quite how to start or how to put it on. So I did that. I've also
let me jump in, because I think you're selling yourself short, because anytime most of us are confused, I don't know about anybody else, I'm done trying to deal with Googling something. I'm usually YouTubing something. I'm usually treating YouTube as my search engine, because, so for instance, we had to change one of the our lawnmower has multiple belts. Let's just say that it's a 0-turn type lawnmower, multiple belts. So it goes up and around these different pulleys, and there's different ones. And I'm like, I need a YouTube video to make sure that, the ins and outs. So the one that I found that you did, and this is when I obviously I knew Troy and had a relationship there and stuff like that, but I saw your content. But the one that hooked me was she's got a video on how to fold a fitted sheet.
Oh, yeah. That one's very popular.
I'm just saying, for those of you who don't know how to fold a fitted sheet, you don't have to embarrass yourself to your significant other. You can just be like, I got this. Netter's got this. I got this. So de facto, Netter's there to have your back with some of these regular questions and things that she's doing. So I loved it. I think it's a great idea.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the whole idea. It was, how do you do these things that everyone thinks you should know how to do? And I had found out when I was doing some research that unfortunately, no one knows how to fold a fitted sheet. Not really. I mean, there are a few experts out there. So I found a video and I was like, okay, I'm following this video so that I can show you as a layman how to do this. And let's see if it actually works. Because a lot of these how-to videos, you try them and they're complete fails because whatever it is they're doing, they're not really showing you all the steps. And when you're trying to follow them, it's not making any sense. The video that I was following for that also had it printed out underneath. And I tried doing just the directions printed. I couldn't follow it. I had to watch the video because it's like, I don't understand what they're saying in this part or in this part.
Sure.
And then when I was trying to fold the actual sheet, I was using a queen sheet. I don't know what sheet size they were using, but mine was so much bigger. And so it's like where a pocket should be or the end of the sheet should be, it wasn't there on mine. So I had to kind of improvise a little bit. But in the end, it all came out to a folded fitted sheet. It wasn't as pretty as theirs, but it was folded.
But I think I love the authenticity of the journey. We haven't even gotten to the bathroom makeover, which has been the best journey ever. But I think that's one of the things I think that is going to be a big appeal for folks that, haven't seen your content yet or don't know you very well. Maybe they've heard your voice in the background, being the voice, as you say, the security and the bouncer and, last call, they hear Netter's voice and they see her in chat. But when you see her in action, you start to feel that genuineness of her passion, of her interest, and that kind of thing. And I think this is why YouTube is growing so much more exponentially, is because we want some visuals with some of those how-tos. Like, yeah, sure, that person's got their little list, but I need someone like yourself going, no, I folded this and it didn't match. So here's what I did. And next thing you know, it's like, okay, well, I can live with that end result. I got it. I can go A to B to C there. I could figure that out. So, all right. Yeah. How did the bathroom makeover process go to video though?
Well, our house was built in 1968, which means it had original fixtures from 1968, which were ugly. I love the color blue. It's my favorite color. But my bathroom had the baby blue and it got old real fast, where it's like I couldn't stand looking anymore. Plus, we had this really ugly floor in there. The countertop was that white and gold speckled thing from the 60s, 70s. And it's like, yeah, I can't live with this anymore. And we've been living here, gosh, about 16 years at that time. So I'm like, I need to do something, because we had already taken care of the whole outside of our house and we had new siding put on, new windows, new roof, all that. It was time to start doing things on the inside and things I wanted to try and do myself, because, you want to cut down on costs. So I was looking around the bathroom going, okay, what can I do to make this pretty? And there was a group that I belonged to for basically a decluttering group of all things. And one person, a gentleman, had put on, hey, this is something I did when I was decluttering my bathroom. I used this Fablon in my shower, and he showed how it looked. He goes, and I made sure I, got the seams all taken care of with the silicone caulk and all that. And I'm looking going, that's Fablon. And that looks fabulous. And so it's like, I can do that. And Fablon isn't expensive. It's like, depending on where you get it, I got mine from Wallpop. It was like on sale for like $4.99 a roll or something like that. And so I was like, well, I can do that. And I can get extra rolls for my counter, so they kind of match. And it looked like marble. And since you've seen my video, you saw the marble look that was there. I got a slightly different pattern for my kitchen, and I haven't actually edited those videos yet to put up.
Okay.
It's
No,
not
that's
as
good
long
though.
though. It's
So, but
like,
you were inspired by someone that was really more closer to your community than like just
mhm,
some random video person or something like that. You kind of had like a
yeah,
little bit of an inspiration, so to speak. Like he can do it, I can do it kind of thing.
exactly. Because I was looking at what can I do to cover up this blue tile because there was blue tile everywhere. And when I saw the fab lamps, like that's different and I like it. So I can do that.
Mm-hmm,
And
hmm.
then when I was getting the fab one, I was looking online for, different things like hardware and all that. And I saw that kind of metal looking floor. And it's like, okay, I really like that. And it
Mm.
was one of those things that just popped up when I was searching for something else that popped up. I'm like, I like that. So I ended up getting that for my floor. I got some hardware from another company. I have all the places of where I got things in the description. So if you want to
Okay.
know where I got stuff,
Right.
just look at the description. It's all there. And you can buy the exact same things I did. Excuse me,
Is
or
that
see
is that
what
is that how you find things from other people? Like, so for instance, you saw this video and maybe you like what this person did. Are you in their description looking at for information and kind of follow ups
I
with them?
will.
Okay, good. 'Cause
And what I'll
I find that as well. I am totally into going back now and trying to add chapters because I've become spoiled now with the chapter function of adding timestamps to long conversations like ours, where like we're gonna talk for an hour, but maybe there's 2 or 3 or 4 segments that are, we can kind of. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I do that. I need to
Mhm.
start doing that for folks that are watching because if I'm doing it, maybe there's one person that is. So yeah. So
Right, and
all right,
unfortunately, not all people will put in their description where they got their products from. They'll mention it
sure,
kind of in passing as they're doing something.
right.
So I'll look at their description, see if there's anything there. If they don't, I go back and watch the video again, going, okay, what was that product called? And then I just Google search it. And it's like, okay, I can get it from this store. So when I was doing my own thing, it's like, I'm not going to make anyone have to do that. So I made sure I had a list of everything I used,
Mm,
where I got it, and if I had it, the costs, so that you had an idea of what it would run you. And I think for doing my bathroom and kitchen, it cost me somewhere between like $400 and $500. It really wasn't a lot. And
yeah,
to
very economical options for everybody. So
exactly, and to make
how
over a kitchen and a bathroom for under $500 is
awesome.
unheard of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How is how is it? Because you kind of went feet first into doing this. Like there really is like, okay, well, there we go. Uh, how is that response feeling? Like, because you're doing kind of a different type of content than a lot of folks that are maybe in our circles that are doing a lot more nerd conversations and like that. But you're
Mhm.
you're you're in those circles. You are doing those
Yeah.
conversations as well. You've done a lot of reaction videos and watch videos, things like that. But doing that type of content, what's that community like? What's some of that feedback that you've had from those kind of folks?
Well, one thing is I love to help people. I mean, Troy can tell you, I'm always trying to help people. And I'm his enabler. So, yeah, I'm definitely want to always help people. And just knowing that I'm doing these videos of things that maybe I've never done before, like my bathroom reno. And there was something else that I did the 3D printing. I was a beginner with that. So I was giving helpful hints on, hey, I'm new to 3D printing. This is what I found. This is the issues I found that I was having and how I'm fixing them. With
Sure.
my bathroom reno, this is an issue I had, and this is how I fixed it. And I repeated over and over, don't let anything, discourage you. Yeah, you're going to have setbacks. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to, mess something up and go, I did this wrong. I mean, I did that with the template for my toilet outline. I
Mhm.
had my tiles upside down instead of right side up. And so I had to recut those. And I basically wasted 4 pieces of my tile. But it's like, I wasn't going to let it stop me. I wasn't going to quit because I made a mistake. I just plowed through. It's like, it's going to work out, and if it's not as perfect as, I hoped it would be, I still tried it. I wasn't going to give up. And the people that have watched my videos and have seen, these things, they're like, wow, these are really helpful. It's like, I didn't know about this. I didn't know how to do this. And you've shown me that I can actually do it quite easily. There's one I did on hair dyeing. And I've had people going, can I really do this at home? Like, absolutely. I do it all the time. I dye my hair every couple of months. And I've been doing it for years. And it's so easy to do. But hair salons don't want you to know that's easy for you to do at home. So it's like, I showed you,
Wow.
it's easy.
That feedback has to be the $1,000,000, right? I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah,
literally is
absolutely.
like, okay, now I want to make 10 more videos. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's how I am. Every time I get so, I teased it earlier about the Saturday morning cartoon thing, which was like literally like my therapeutic thing. It was birthed out of, I've watched too many things that suck. I need something good. It's
Yeah.
the 30th anniversary of these two cartoons. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of video on that. And it made me feel good. And next thing you know, we're now, I mean, we're several, I know, I'm in season 3 of X-Men. So we got to be in like 20 or 30 episodes, but my videos, sometimes I double up, but now my DMs aren't bonkers because people want different cartoons. They want the commercials. They love the retro commercials. They love
Oh
all of
gosh,
that.
yeah.
Getting that feedback as the creator side of it. That's why I always tell people, please just leave a comment, whatever. Sure, algorithm stuff, whatever. That algorithm stuff is just bigger
Yeah.
than you and me will ever be. But it's fun for you to have that kind of feedback, even if it's just
Oh
that
yeah.
one person. Like you said, I didn't know I could dye my hair at home. It's like, I don't know about you, but to me, that seems like, wow, that's like a game changer. This person may be saving, I don't know how much salon costs is for ladies, but it's got to be
Well,
expensive because it's expensive for us for what we have to do for our freaking head. I mean, literally, they just run a blade through this mess and they call me, you want to try to charge me $20. So I can't imagine how much it's costing and you're saving people.
my hair is, well, right now it's braided, and this is like my signature style when I'm on a stream. But my hair actually goes down. If I have it loose, it'll just hit my waist. And I went into a salon to actually ask about how much prices would be for my daughter's hair to get dyed. But the lady wasn't even paying attention to what I was saying. She just looked at my hair and said, $80. I'm like, I'm not asking for me. I want to know about my daughter who has shoulder length hair. She goes, oh, for her 20. I'm like, wait, why is there such a discrepancy?
$60 from there
Yeah.
to there. Wow. Okay.
And I was like,
So
yeah.
$80. I don't know how much it costs to dye at home. Let's just say $20. Let's just say it was
Oh,
20.
not even. It's
Yeah.
like a box of dye is usually about $4 to $5. I get the cheap brand. I get the Miss Clairol, and I get the cheapest one they have because really hair dyes are all the same. They just put bigger prices on them because I have a different brand name on them. And it's like, no, you don't need all that. All dyes are the same. I used to be a hair model, so I know this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
way back in the day, I used to do the Midwest beauty shows, and so they were always dyeing my hair in pretty funky colors. My best one was when they made me a redhead. It was beautiful. I love that color. In fact, my There's Network picture that my icon that was done at a hair show, and I loved those colors so much because it was just so unusual and different. It was kind of a red, and then it kind of graded into like a yellow, and then into an orange, and then back to the red. And I just love the way that picture looked. So, or what the way my hair looks. So I used that picture, and it's like you can do this stuff on the cheap. You don't have to go to a salon. And when I was doing these hair shows, they were even saying, I could hear them talking, going, "Oh yeah, it's like this cost us, 69 cents for the dye, and we're upselling it to the client for 20, $30." And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I get, like I said, the dye, it's like $4 or $5. You can get it at Walmart for usually between $3 and $4 because they're a little bit cheaper. And I just get the Clairol brand, and it's
I
it's
gotta be honest.
really
I've seen it.
really cheap.
My wife just bought a box of something at like the Dollar General. I guess they have clearance as well. I didn't know such a thing existed at a Dollar General. Go in there. That's where I bought my soda because it's a soda
Mhm.
that soda at a Dollar General for some reason is significantly cheaper than everywhere else. It's like 3 for 10 all the time, and I'm like, I'm just going to buy it there. I'll just go in, and that's what I do. And she'll browse and find things. So the fact that you have, is it just the words of wisdom? Are we just getting to the point, Netter? I mean, I have the gray hair. I'm not asking you how you are, but let's just be honest. We're not that far apart. You're 15 years younger than me, let's say. And the words of wisdom that we have to share with everybody, is it just that we just have, there's so many people behind us now. It hasn't come up in conversation. Mom or dad didn't show them. Maybe college is different. I don't know.
Mhm.
Whatever it is. Is that what it is? I kind of feel like that. I feel like some people just don't
Yeah,
know.
because it's like when I was growing up, mom taught you how to sew and how to
Mhm.
iron and how to cook and how to clean. And a lot of people nowadays, they just don't know that because they didn't learn from their parents for whatever reason. Either they didn't want to learn, or I don't know, maybe their parents just never thought to show them that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Whereas I came from the generation where we were taught as young kids because the older kids were expected to look after the younger kids and know
Mhm.
how to make dinner
Mhm.
for,
Mhm.
when mom and dad were still at work, they'd have dinner on the table when mom and dad got home. They'd take care of the younger kids. That meant sometimes, having to iron clothes for them for school the next day and that sort of thing, doing laundry. I mean, I was doing laundry when I was 9, cleaning most of the house by myself. like this simple things, dusting, emptying out the garbages and all that sort of
Mhm.
thing. I was washing dishes. I would,
Sure.
my mom always loved this. I would wash and wax the kitchen floor.
Oh
And
my.
it was like,
Waxing too.
yeah, that was my big job. And that's when, you would have to put the ammonia down to strip off the wax, because it was that kind of squirt on wax. And then after I got all that out and I rinsed it off, I'd squirt down my wax and I'd wax the floor and then tell everyone, you're not coming in this kitchen until that's dry, because I don't want footprints. Um, but yeah, I was doing all that when I was 9. And how many 9-year-olds do their own laundry or wash dishes or, dust the house or even vacuum? I don't know of very
Yeah, the
many.
Pops kids did, but the Pops kids and now the grandkids they get the crash course when they're there. And then sometimes they don't like it, but I think you're absolutely right. Because I remember, so I have this story. I don't think I've shared it here, but I will. And that was when I went to college. So that I used to say the floor, but it's not the floor because each dorm had like half a floor. So this was like it was the floor, but it was like a certain wing. So 13 to 15 rooms. I was the only one who could do my own laundry.
Oh, wow.
Everyone else would have like I don't know. I don't know. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know. But reality was, because I only lasted one semester. I was like, I got to live on my own. I can't live with all these people. The bunch of crazy people. But it was like, so much of that stuff is the case. Like, even what you were just talking about, like this sewing, like I could see you doing videos on like just general mending, just,
Mhm.
losing the buttons and sorting buttons and, just general elements of housekeeping and things like that are just kind of like the lost art of life
Exactly.
in this era. So I think it's great. I think that have you been shocked at like big YouTubers that are doing that type of stuff? I mean, I'm assuming there are big YouTubers that do some of these things. I really haven't
Well,
researched it.
there's one YouTuber, well, there's probably a couple of them, but there's one YouTuber that I would see that would go and clean houses. And I want to say she's like in Poland or something. She's not in the United States.
Hmm.
And she's basically a professional cleaner, and she specializes in hoarder houses and
Mhm.
like really messy houses. And she will show her process of cleaning everything from beginning to end. It's like, here's before pictures with all this mess. Here's now the after pictures. And she would use like a lot of Windex to spray on to like soften gook that was stuck on. And she'd use these scrubbies. And I guess she used ones that were like given to her by different companies so she can promote their products. It's like, I use this brand, and that sort of thing. But she would do this remarkable job. And you'd see this afterwards going, wow, what it looked like before to what it looks like now. And you don't really get a sense of how long she took to do it, but it's like, because it's like an hour-long video, and a lot of it's cut out, but it looks fabulous. And it's like, okay, she needs to teach people how to do this. And
Yeah, no, I agree.
and these hoarders they'll come home and you'll see their reaction, and we're like, wow, I didn't know my house could look like this, because they're so used to the mess everywhere. And a lot of them, you'll hear their backstories where it's people that were really depressed, and so you don't feel like cleaning or doing anything,
Mhm.
so the mess starts small and then it grows and grows, and then they just feel overwhelmed and they don't know where to start or what to do, so they don't do anything. And
Mhm.
some of them get desperate enough to hire someone like this one YouTuber, and she'll come and she'll clean their house for them, and it makes such a big difference in their life. And just showing simple things for them to keep it up, I think would really be helpful.
Hmm. Fascinating. Fascinating. You mentioned your kitchen reno. Those videos are
Mhm.
coming. What are some of the other things that you kind of have in the pike or that you have sort of like on the to-do list or those kinds of things?
Oh goodness, actually, let me go to my gotta
Oh,
get it done folder.
we're going behind the scenes. Okay, well, we can do
Yeah.
that. All right, let's go behind the scenes. Folks,
Well,
make
I
sure
have
you check the description because all the links are there. You can catch up to date. Make sure you get it so you know what's going on with Netter.
Okay, let's see. I have a video I still need to edit from when I had braces 2 years ago, and it's showing basically what braces are like for an adult and what you can expect, because not a lot of adults get braces.
Hmm.
So I'm showing what they look like and talking about the process for them. And I had the metal braces. I couldn't do Invisalign.
Hmm.
So I'm showing what these metal braces look like, and all that sort of thing. One of the other ones I'm doing is how to braid, basically your hair. I had a conversation with Troy once where I was just like, honey, can you braid my hair? He's like, I don't know how. And it's like, how do you not know how to do that? You're a Boy Scout. Didn't they teach you how to like braid? He's like, well, I can sort of do rope, but I don't know how to do hair. It's like, well, it's the same
It's the
concept,
same
but
thing, yeah.
hair is so much looser because you got
Mhm,
so much of it
mhm,
that it's not like you got 3 plates that you can just go blah 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 and
right.
it's done. You got all this looseness there that you have to try and contain into a plate to be able
Mhm.
to do that, or into a section to be able to plate it. And
See, I
so
have something up on Troy now because I have, I had 3 girls, so
yeah, it's like, and it's really easy to do, but if you're not used to it,
true.
it's difficult. I mean, there was a time where I didn't know how to braid my own hair, and
I
no
gotta
one
be honest,
taught me.
braiding your own hair is different than braiding someone else's hair. I mean, I gotta be honest,
It is.
that is an interesting concept to like, okay, how do you braid your own hair? Like, how do you do your
Yeah.
own hair? Like, my daughter cuts her own hair, and I'm always sort of like, just there's something about being able to do those kinds of things, so
Exactly. But it's like, if you're braiding someone else's hair, they're in front of you, so you can see what you're doing. When you're braiding your own hair, you have to have your hands behind you, and you can't really see what you're doing unless you've got some mirror set up where you've got a mirror like behind your head where you can kind of
mhm,
see the back of your head through the mirror you're looking in. And so when I first learned how to braid my own hair, I had to visualize, how do my hands move when I'm doing this? And then it's like trying to do it behind my head. And the first couple times I did it, my braid was so sloppy, but I did it. And so I just kept practicing. And now I can do, you know, the regular over braids. I do the under braids. I can do the French braid, and I can do the French braid where it's on top, where it looks, you can just see like the little kind of sections going in. But I can also do the under braid where it kind of looks like a spine going down the back of your head. I call it the Klingon spine.
this is awesome, man. I'm so glad we had a chance to chat and talk about all this kind of stuff because this is awesome. So you dropped a Klingon reference, so we'll switch
Yes.
gears just slightly because you guys have this great little origin story, and look, nerd talk. What do you want me to say? It's like, but I think there's something to be said for nerds finding other nerds, right? Like it's there's so much insecurity in nerd world. We were definitely definitely my age. See
I'm
what I did there,
actually
folks?
older than you think I am.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, been a day over 37. So, we were picked. We were like we were the outcast. We weren't the cool kids in class like we are now, right? Like we're not. There was no Marvel movies that were hip back then.
Yeah.
There was no, Buck Rogers wasn't exactly getting the States. So, but you guys met via Star Trek. Like it is
Yes.
sort of like a really, really fun. So just for posterity's sakes, let's just throw. I'm sure you guys have shared this a million times on your channel. We'll throw it out again for all you nerds out there. Just close. You can do it.
Well, let's see. I had gone to a Star Trek convention, and I was dressed in a black miniskirt and a captain's uniform top and high heels. And I got the nickname of Captain Miniskirt while I was there. And I actually ended up with fans. I would have these guys, because I'd gone to a couple of conventions dressed like that, and I would have these same 2 guys come up to me, Captain Miniskirt, can we get your picture? Can you sign our autograph? And I have an autograph. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And it's like, okay, they're only coming to me because I'm wearing a mini skirt and I got legs. But it was like really cute, and I always felt like I got a following. I
Yeah,
got
you do.
fans.
Hashtag Captain
Mini
Miniskirt is
skirt.
what's going to be blowing up in the chat right now. Get on it, folks.
And this one convention I went to, it was another Star Trek convention, and Troy was there. And it was one of those things where I was actually sitting on the side talking to a Klingon friend of mine, and I happened to look over and I see this guy staring at me. And I'm like, okay, what a weirdo. Why is this guy staring at me? And his buddy came up to him, smacked him on the arm, and was like, come on, let's go. And he just kind of like blinked and then walked off. Well, about a week later, I was at the opening of Star Trek 6 with a friend of mine, and she's like, hey, my game master's going to be there. I want you to meet him. And she had me at the convention. They had to sign up for this role playing through the mail game. So it was Star Trek role play. So basically, it was your game master would send you a scenario. You'd fill in the blanks of what your character is doing. And if you were then to take what everybody is doing after the story was over, it would technically be an episode of Star Trek. At least that was the idea. And it was actually a lot of fun to do. So she had signed up for it. She got me signed up for it. So I was going to go meet her game master. So we get to the movie theater and she introduces me to Troy. Now, I have to admit that I didn't hear a single word she said because I was looking up into his big brown eyes. And my only thought was,
Oh,
I'm going to marry this man. Now, I didn't know his name. I didn't know if he was married with 10 kids. I knew nothing about him, but I just knew I was going to marry him.
I don't talk about those 10 kids right now.
No, we didn't have 10 kids.
Well, you know.
And this was actually the beginning of December of 91.
Wow.
By the end of December of 91, we were engaged. We married 8 months later. So we've been married now. It'll be 31 years this August.
Wow. Congratulations. It's a lot of fun, man. I tell you what, it's an inspiration to us all. And it's a fun story. I'm glad you shared it with us, that kind of thing. So
Yep. So for all you guys who are like, oh, I can't get the pretty girl because, I'm a geek. It's like, no, honey, there's a lot of pretty girls out there that love Star Trek and Star Wars and everything as much as you do. Don't be afraid to talk to them. Go up, strike a conversation,
Yeah, especially nowadays too, where everything is kind of divided. Like if you can just navigate towards someone who's into like the OT, it's like you're halfway there, man. I mean, you got to be honest. You find someone who's like-minded. That's fantastic. What has it been like? Because I know stuff happened with Age of Boomer, and you guys kind of, I don't want to say you were kind of thrust together to be co-hosting this show. And the chemistry kind of took off from there. Like you guys obviously been married this long. You guys have natural chemistry, but what was it like taking that to the public where it's like, oh, we're going to be pinging off each other in front of this interwebs thing?
Well, actually, my being in the public, as it were, like I am now, started with me going every other Saturday with Big Al Presents. So it originally was Big Al, then me, then Troy, then Big Al, me, Troy, and we kept doing that. And after a while, Troy's like, I don't need a week. It can just be you and Big Al's trading off because I'm going to be on the stream anyway. It doesn't make sense for us to have 2 weeks and he only gets one. So we started doing the rewatches. And it's like, okay, we're going to have these movies coming up, come to the channel. And, this was before we had the Cosme link. So we would tell people, okay, if you got your copy ready, we're starting at this point. This is what you should be seeing on your screen. Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit play. And we'd watch the movie together and we'd have our commentary and we'd be talking about it, what we liked about the movie or what we remember about it from when we'd seen it way back in the day or whatever it may be. And then from there, it kind of evolved more into, okay, Troy got the Cosme link so that we can have that pinned to the top of the chat so that anyone who didn't have a copy can actually watch the film. And that made things a lot easier for people to come to the different streams because they're like, oh, I don't have a copy and I don't want to just hear chatter. Although some people are like, I'm just here for the commentary, but then this way, people that didn't have the DVD or and couldn't find it for free anywhere could actually still watch along. And we got an overwhelming positive response for that. So we've been doing that ever since. When Geeky User started, if you notice, I'm more in the background as the bouncer, but every once in a while I'll shout something out. But it's like for both Troy's channel and Agent Boomer, I'm kind of like backstage security and bouncer. And on Friday Night Last Call, I'm not always in the stream, but I'm always backstage and you'll hear me shout things out. Because, Troy will be going, and that actor, and it's like, I'll shout the person's name. It's like, yeah, that person or whatever. Sure. And so it's like being in front of everyone. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't always have like live, like now I'll have my avatar because there are some days where it's like, okay, I've taken off my makeup. I'm in my pajamas. No one's going to see me. Avatar, and then there are times like my Thursday things, which I started recently, where it's like I'm on live because I don't want my guest host to be, a person and I'm just an icon. So I want to have that interaction so they can see, my facial expressions and all that. I can see theirs. And it's more like we're sitting in the same room together rather than being across miles, and which is why I always wrap up every stream with, because there's like any final words. And I always have this one bit that I say at the end of every stream. And so I like that interaction. It's just a lot of fun kind of hanging out. And that's really what it is. It boils down to that, is that we're just hanging out, having a good time, talking about geeky things, talking about movies, talking about whatever. It's a lot of fun to do.
How is what is life like for Captain Miniskirt, right? Because I mean, obviously, there's not a ton of ladies that are doing our space. Is it a little weird at times? Sometimes has it got any weirdness that's happened, even though people know you're married and whatever for decades? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, when I was doing Captain Musical, like I said, that was 32 years ago. Um, and I'd done a couple of conventions like that. And then I ended up being security for conventions because
Mm,
we had some friends that kind of ran security and they always needed extra people. So Troy and I got asked to do that, and Captain Musical kind of got put to the side. But I know some people would go like, "You look familiar. I know you,"
hmm
but they couldn't
hmm
quite place it. But it was a lot of fun doing from the security aspect, which is how I got to be security and bouncer. We did not just Star Trek conventions, but then we moved to Victorian steampunk. There was a convention immersion con called TeslaCon, and we were actually at a convention where Svengoolie was there, just helping out. And the head of security that ran that convention, that also does TeslaCon, approached us and said, "You've got a great work ethic. Would you like to do security for TeslaCon?"
hmm
And we're like, "Sure, why not?" The only difference with that one is I couldn't just put on, a t-shirt and pair of jeans. I had to wear Victorian clothing.
Sure.
So when you talk about the sewing, before I started doing that, I could barely sew on a button. After I started working as security for TeslaCon, I was able to sew total Victorian outfits when I could barely sew on a button before. So it's like, if I could do it, you could do it. It's just a matter of being able to follow a pattern. And that's the hardest part, because sometimes you'll get your pattern pieces flipped.
hmm
And so many times, like, that's the outer part that I just sewed to the inner part. And it's like, so it does take practice. But if I can do a full Victorian outfit when I could barely sew on a button, you can do it too.
Um, Troy likes to talk about his love of Trek and Ghostbusters and things like that. So where is your like the top tier of your sort of fan love to this day? Obviously, Trek is going to be somewhat there because obviously your
Mhm.
history there. But what else is sort of at the top of Netter's love list?
Well, Ghostbusters. Troy and I started getting into that, and we actually got our little outfits. We got the proton packs and the one which I'm drawing a blank on. That so we got all these different things that we're going to be wearing to the opening of the next Ghostbusters movie. I can't wait for that. Um, I do like Star Wars, but Troy is a bigger Star Wars fan, and I'm his enabler. So we have a 6-foot Millennium Falcon sitting in our garage, and the 4-foot sail barge sitting on our bar. And then, of course, tons of other Star Wars action figures and what have you. He's actually in the middle of building the cantina for Star Wars, which is taking up half of our dining room table. And I'm excited for that to be done because it's going to look amazing once he gets it all finished. I mean, he's going out of his way to make sure he's got all the right pieces that he needs, all the right figures that he needs. I mean, all of that. So it's like, it's really exciting to see that process. So you might want to ask him about that sometime.
He needs to do some community posts and some little video snippets and some behind the scenes stuff. It'd be fun. And by the way, folks, it did not, if you didn't get in chat, shame on you. EKE meter, just so you guys know.
Thank
All
you.
right.
We may want those
Uh,
too.
of course you do. Of course you do.
In fact,
So
it used to sit behind Troy when he was on air. You'd see his on air sign. The sign that I had made for him, that's the Friday Night Last Call, used to be sitting right next to that sign. I think
mm,
he's moved it, but it was sitting there so you could see our PKA meter. And currently he's got the Ghostbusters all behind him now in
mhm.
package, because we're not taking that out of package. So if you tune into Friday Night Last Call, you will see those sitting right behind him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are your thoughts on like your journey in all of this? I mean, I don't know. Do you look at numbers? Do you look at like, oh man, this could I'm growing. This is working. This is not working. Do you like analyze any of that from like the creator standpoint? What is it like for you?
Well, I have I don't know what you want to call them, different segments. So I've got like my Netters Network, Retro Cinema. I have my Helpful Hints videos. I have my Thursday Things. I have my guest appearances, but that's a totally separate thing at the bottom. But it's like I got different things going on, and it's like I will look at, okay, how many subscribers do I have? Because that's kind of an indicator to me of whether or not I'm drawing people in. And unfortunately, YouTube likes to take away subscribers. There was one night where I got 15 subscribers, and the next day I lost 12 of them. Wow. Because YouTube took them away because they figured, oh, no, I can get that many in one night. It's like, yeah, you actually can. And I'd like to keep those.
Yeah.
The other thing is I use my growth on the channel because I had on my very first Thursday Things, my 200 subscriber giveaway. So every time I'm hitting a milestone, I'm doing something like that. I'm doing a giveaway to thank my subscribers. So it's like something fun. So it's like, how many hit that milestone? And then you can win something. The last one that I had, or my first one that I had, I gave away a couple of Star Wars games. They were the, I think it was the Hoth game. I gave away a gamer headset stand. And I also gave away a phone charger. And I threw in an extra little gift for that one, which is a phone holder for your car, because I had this extra thing.
Troy's going to have to up his game, man. I tell you what, he's got to up his game on his giveaways, man. Netter's got a high bar over there. You guys got to be sure you're subscribed to Netter's channel, man, even if it's just for that. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's like there's, we're thinking of doing some videos in the future. Like I know we still have Alita Battle Angel, which I know some people really like. And we had gotten extra copies when it came out to try and support the franchise because we really want to see Alita 2 come out. So I know that's probably going to be one that we give away in the future, and just other things, action figures, a whole bunch of different things. So if I can get to my next milestone, which is 300 subscribers, we're going to have another giveaway. And for me now, it's more like, I want to do this for you. So you help me get there, and I'm going to give you a gift because we're now at that next thing. So it's kind of like, if you play any games on your phone and you get to the next level, you get a prize.
Sure,
that's what this is for me. It's like, you get me to the next level and you will win a prize, and it's just fun. For me, it's just really a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the new people that come into my streams. I'll, make sure that I shout them out and all that. And, make them feel welcome, because everyone on my streams are welcome. And when I'm in somebody else's chat, I mean, everyone knows. And if you don't, you will, if you're ever in my stream and you come to visit, I always say, hi, sweetie, to every single person that's in my chat. And when I'm in somebody else's chat, I'll say hi, sweetie, to everyone that I can possibly say hi, sweetie, to, because that's my thing. I want you to feel welcome, even if it's not my channel or my stream. I want you to feel welcome, because I know the host can be busy. They may not have a chance to say hello to everyone, so I want to make sure you feel welcome. And
boy, guilty of that. It's rough. I have a hard time, especially when we're on. I'm trying to do almost like segments. I'm trying to let's talk about this topic, and we're trying to transition to this, the chats. You get people coming and going. They're saying this. They're there, then they're leaving. You want to say bye to them. By the time you get to it, they're probably gone. Other people have bounced in, and it is a lot to navigate. That's different and takes some getting used to. But I think you do a great job at it. I think that you guys are really finding your place in all of this. I think it's been a blast to get to know you and see that. And folks, again, if you are not there, first off, she just bribed you basically. Like if you're not subscribed, you basically just, start shopping in the background, just start picking things out. You never know. But no, listen, great content, fun stuff. And I think it's great for everyone to find their voice and find their way and maximize YouTube for what it is. And I think it's been great to get to know you and do that. I'm glad we gave a chance to talk about that again here today.
Yeah, it's been fun. And because everyone always asks me, behind me, those are all DVDs. We own over 1,000 movies. So people are like, oh, are those books? It's like, no, those are all DVDs. We have several bookcases filled that go from one end of the room to our staircase. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Just turn around and count. Wow. And they go ceiling to floor. And they are filled with DVDs. And when I do my Netter Network Retro Cinema, I'm going alphabetically, because it used to be I kind of bounce around and go, okay, I'm going to take one from, the S's this week, one from the T's this week, one from, whatever. And then I would forget which ones I did. And I'm like, okay, did I do that one? Did we do that one recently? So going alphabetically, it's a lot easier. This
All
way
right.
it's
Hey,
like,
that's good.
I'm not going to
That's
miss
good.
any. And,
Yeah, she's gonna get it. She's gonna land there eventually, especially if you got a favorite. So make sure you check that out, folks. Make sure you're connected to her and do that, and go get your own Hi Sweetie. That's what you got to be in it for, in it to win it, right? But no, thank you
absolutely.
guys. Thank you, Netta, for being this with me, guys. Listen, thanks for being with Watch Your Story. There's a playlist down there. You guys can check out more of these. Love the feedback, love the recommendations, the comments, all that. Feel free. Be blessed. Make tomorrow better than today, and don't forget, just go out there, talk hard.